Today's a good day, man. The sun's shining.
The sun is shining. You know what, honestly? I think I've got that sad syndrome.
What do you mean by sad syndrome?
Do you know about it?
No.
Why is there a fly buzzing round? There's never a fly in here. You want to now be here while I'm recording.
Flies. Boy, listen, I've got stories about flies this whole summer, man. Like, anytime I open a window, they just invite themselves in. I don't know who they think
Serious?
they are. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's
Are you
annoying.
paying rent?
Yeah,
No, I was going to say, sorry, sad syndrome. So I can't remember, but it's seasonal something disorder. I can't remember the middle word. But yeah, it's like where like grim weather basically really affects your mood. And I actually think like the sun is just a complete get. It changes the entire vibe of the day.
100%, man. Like, I'm looking outside now, and I'm ready to just skip on my pavement after this podcast. Like, I'm literally gonna go outside, skip to the supermarket, buy myself a Magnum, skip to the park.
Lovely. Maggie there.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I can hear so many birds tweeting wherever you are.
That's the only thing about like where I live. Yeah, like
it's so loud.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like, that's what wakes me up more time. So, you know, when I call you, like, and I'm like, or I message you at like 6 a.m. It's because of the birds, basically. Like, but like, hey, I'm waking up when nature intends me to wake up.
It's nice. So. I like it. It is a nice sound, mate. I just want to say how pasty I look as well right now. Yeah, I'm actually so tanned at the minute, but this light or this whatever is happening, it's not giving my best.
Yeah, because you've been spending hours in the garden. I've seen on your like Insta and stuff, man.
I've been in the bikini. I've got my factor 30 on, my factor 50 on my face. I've been doing the most, and look what this lighting's doing to me. Not having it. Anyway,
what episode?
It's been a bit of a weird week.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Like, despite the sun and all, like, you know, the nice stuff that we're talking about, like, really and truly, the world has got a lot of fucking problems right now.
Yeah, like it's a. Like, I put something on my Facebook the other day, and I was like, I'd hate to be a black man living in America.
Oh my God!
But to be honest with you, like, it's not just America where there's issues. Obviously, at the moment, the light is on America because of what's happening over there, and I guess things are enhanced because, you know, police officers out there have, you know, lethal weapons, and, you know, they have license to be, you know, more excessive with the force that they choose to use. But it's horrible, man. It's terrible.
It's disgusting, really. And like you say, it isn't just America that has the issues. But what scares me is that, are we on that same path now? Because if you look at the people in charge of the UK, they're all racist, homophobic, sexist as well.
And it perplexes me that, you know, these people, you know, continue to be.
That word.
It perplexes me that these people continue to be like voted into positions of power. You know, like, obviously Trump, you know, look at what he stands for. The fact that I don't know if you saw that tweet, when the
looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yeah, like who the fuck does he think he is? Like, I don't even swear, now he's got me swearing.
He does not need an excuse to shoot someone, right? Because his officers are out murdering people anyway, so he doesn't need people robbing a fucking store as an excuse to kill people, because he's already doing it.
But see, with Trump, what he likes to do, he likes to empower people to carry out the tasks that he to carry out his dirty work, basically. Yeah. So in his, you know, in his election campaign, the dialogue that he had, you know, let's build back our borders, let's do this, let's do that, the other. All that did is it empowered the undercover racists, it empowered the ignorance, it empowered the people who, you know, had no care or regard for any person of a skin color that wasn't, you know, the status quo of being, you know, white American, middle American. All it did is it empowered those people to, you know, to rise up and feel like they were entitled to, you know, to do what they did.
It was like, well, if the president thinks that, then I'm allowed to think that. And it was the same thing happened here with Brexit. Like, the whole reason that people voted for Brexit, right, is because they tried to push these immigration laws down everyone's throats as if they were going to do something miraculous and stop immigration and get rid of everyone that's here as an immigrant. So all of the racists voted, right? But now imagine always having them views as a person, right? And then when Brexit happens, you think, oh, everyone agrees with me now, because the majority of people voted for Brexit. You then feel like you're entitled to then be open about your opinion because you think everyone thinks like you, but we don't.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's mad. It's like the whole Brexit thing is another. Like my mind drifted just then back to the whole dialogue with the Brexit and the amount of lies and manipulation that was thrown down the public's throat. And obviously, a lot of the public are gullible and vulnerable
Stupid.
and stupid, and but yeah, it's a very sad state of affairs that we're in, and even more so at the moment. And what actually angers me is that there are people in this world who think that they can, they're aware of the injustices. They're aware that, for example, that there's a potential to, there's a privilege that some people might have that, Black people don't necessarily have. They're aware that, especially in America, that, the police have a tendency to side with anyone who isn't Black, and they're using that. Like, there's been 2 examples on the internet in the last in the last week. The lady in Central Park and the guy that had an office space, and some Black guys were using the gym. And like, it's ridiculous that I just think I don't know. I like, for me, the way I was brought up, like, I was brought up that everyone's equal. Obviously, these people have been brought up. It's people that have instilled that into them, like, from when they were kids. I feel like you're not born with hate. Like, that's taught.
No, you're not. Are you right? No, you're not. And the thing is, like, you can also be from a family that are racist or that are homophobic or sexist or whatever, and you can change. Like, the resources are there. I understand that, the majority of the time you are a product of your environment, and sometimes, if you're from a small area and you're sheltered into this, just like this specific family, you have them views. Of course, it's going to rub off on you, but there's a whole wide world out there. There's the internet. There's people. There's so much, like, to learn, and really, like, you can educate yourself. Like, you don't have to be ignorant. But that's the thing. Like, do you remember that J. Cole lyric where it was saying about when Trump got into power and it said manipulating poor white folk because they're ignorant? And it's true. Like, all of those states that voted for Donald Trump are all poor white people who haven't had a good education. They're from, like, the fucking back arse end of nowhere. So, like, do you think Donald Trump really cares about you? No.
Donald Trump
But you're ignorant and you don't know any better, so you're voting for him.
Yeah, Donald Trump don't care at all, man. He's just out to do what serves his agenda, in the same way that Nigel Farage is out to do whatever serves his agenda. Boris Johnson is out to do whatever serves his agenda. They couldn't give a flying fuck about anyone else, and
no, they're all out for themselves.
That's what it is, that.
And I'm not being funny, right? Like, I'm outspoken anyway, but they're just all a bunch of fucking nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, they are. I was watching
nonsense, as in what? As in
a nonce, a pedo.
Do you think? Like, is that?
Mate, come on.
No, I'm just
nonces, the rapists or whatever. Right. They're all sorts of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they've got, I know that, is it Cameron was like, shagging pigs or whatever it was.
Pigs. I mean, the irony, do you know what I mean? And then I've been watching that Jeffrey Epstein program where he's been messing around with, like, young girls and whatever. Guess who pops up in the program?
Who?
Guess who was his mate for 17 years or however long? Donald
Prince.
Trump.
What's his name? Prince. Oh, Trump. Yeah, Trump was his friend, and Prince.
And
Philip.
the Prince.
Yeah.
Prince Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, is it Andrew? I don't know. I don't even get
one of them.
Who they are.
Yeah. Yeah,
honestly,
like,
so I just think
what I think, you know what I think is, that years ago, like, society was very male dominated, and it was filled, and it still is, but, like, it was very male dominated, and it was, the people that were the decision makers were male white individuals who, were used to a certain way of doing things. Yeah, and it still are. And, like, I think what's happening now is, as the demographic of society changes and, starts to begin to wake up, I should say, like, we're starting to see a trend of people now, going back to point out the things that people have done and to say that was wrong. And I'm here for that. And it's just, long may it continue, like, long way, like, anyone who, who's who's used their power to manipulate
Yeah.
someone, who's used their power to unjustly influence someone into doing something that, you know, is unethical. Like, let's hold them to account, man.
100%. And, you know, we could literally be here for like the whole next hour talking about this. And, you know, we're not necessarily a political podcast. We are a music podcast, but certain things just have to be spoken on, and you just can't literally be silent at a time like this, you know.
No,
and I hope
100%.
that it doesn't just become a phase where, you know, you post for a week or two and then you forgot about it again. I hope that people really, really take action now and stand up. And honestly, like I say, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I just think it's important that, you know, we also say that this podcast, without Black people, without Black culture, we wouldn't have anything to talk about, because we talk about Black music, we talk about Black creatives. Like, that is both of our passions. That's what we've both grown up on. That's what we both make money from. And I just think let's basically dedicate this episode to that.
Yeah, man.
Really.
R.I.P. George Floyd. George.
And everyone that's lost their lives at the fucking hands of
everyone,
twats.
man. Yeah. Like,
but so let's move on.
Let's begin. Well, let's not begin because it's like 10 minutes in or whatever. But like, this is episode 6 of the No Numbers podcast. It's going strong. You know, we're going from strength to strength.
We are.
And today is a special show because we're having our first guest on today.
Should we say it now or should we wait?
They're gonna see it in the title, so they'll know. But yeah, go for it. Why don't you let everyone know who our guest is today?
So obviously you already know him, as you are his official DJ, as you've told us before. We're having motherfucking KSI on the show. And this is why I bought this, just for KSI, this fantastic mic with the stand. Yeah. I did have the pop shield, but I couldn't get it to stand up properly. But look, he's going to think I'm a professional YouTuber, mate. I can't wait for him to rate it out of 10.
Do you know what? Like about 2 weeks ago, I was training in the park and I did a story post, and my hair was just like, I've had a haircut like about 2 weeks ago. And,
about a year ago, you was going to say then. About a year ago.
About a week ago.
About a week ago.
I had a haircut about 2.5 weeks ago. But before I had that haircut, there was a video of me on my story, and then KSI replied and he was like, "Damn, bro, lockdown's cheating you bad, man." Because like the way that my hair was just like, I didn't care. Like, it's mad. So yeah, man, it's a lovely day. We're recording this is Saturday, the 30th of May as we're recording.
Man.
And yeah, man, we're going to chop it up with KSI a little later in this podcast, talk about his Dissimulation album and you know, talk about how he feels about, you know, having put out his first solo album, and just get to know him on a deeper level,
personal level. I like that. Like, you know, everyone has these kind of like, you know, alter egos or kind of public kind of images and characters, but it's nice to like know actually the person behind it, so that's going to be good. And then obviously we've got a few different bits to talk about what's been going on in the music scene, which I am going to start with the Chip and Stormzy situation. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have, you know.
I mean, apparently Stormzy thinks that Chip sent for him on Waze. And Chip's obviously like, well, not really, I didn't. And now he's basically sent for Chip on a song, but I just think, if the shoe fits.
That's the thing. Well, but do you know, like, I mean, I haven't had a chance to fully analyse Stormzy's lyrics. Is it a case that Stormzy has actually sent for Chip, or is this just the internet?
Do you know what? I read it and I was kind of like, what, this fly? Jeez Louise.
Look like you caught it though. Oh no, it's there again.
No, it's not. Mate, it's this KSI fan.
They need a ticket, man. They need a ticket.
Yeah, God. I don't really understand what this whole situation's about. Like, I think Stormzy's kind of come back and he's been like, you know, I am the king, I have done this, blah, 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 blah. And who really knows? But obviously the lyrics from Stormzy's side do actually seem like he is replying to it. But I'm just kind of like, you know what? nobody wants war with Chip. It doesn't matter who you are.
Chip don't
Nobody
run out of bars, man.
war
Chip
with
don't run out of
Chip.
bars. Yeah.
Guys, the GOAT. There's just no way. He will
But do you know what? Like, I'm here for it. I want to see it. I'd love to see it. Even if it was, you know, like,
I
even
would
if it
love
was,
to see it.
even if it was manufactured, that, and them two had conversations, you know, away from the internet, like, yo, do you know what? Like, let's get into it. Like, I'm here for
Yeah.
it, man. Like,
I am. I
because
prefer that to the Stormzy Wiley thing, to be
yeah,
honest.
like the Stormzy Wiley thing, like it was, you know, but like it's like when Chip did the Bugzy Malone thing, when Chip did the Young'un thing, that was, you know, that
Listen,
was a peak of UK music, like UK music culture.
UK grime, anyway.
Grime,
But
yeah, and
Chip is just, to me,
you know
unbelievable
how,
when it
do you know
comes
how
to
big
lyrics.
that beef was? It's that beef was so big, yeah, that like it allowed us to now see Bugzy as who Bugzy is today. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And I think Bugsy's even admitted, like, that's what put me on. Like, that's how people knew about me. Do you know what I mean? And, well, it's like this whole thing now where Russ is trying to say that the only reason anyone knows Aitch is because of Russ. And it's like, oh, my Lord.
Let me ask you a question, actually, because you're from Manchester, yeah?
Go on.
So, like, you know how, obviously, for a long time, like, you could say that Bugzy was, you know, flying the flag for Manny, in terms of, like, I guess, in terms of, like, artists from Manchester who were known around the country. There are other artists that were known, but, you know, in terms of me personally, anyway, like, I'd say Bugzy was from, obviously, you're from Manchester, so you're going to see it slightly differently. But for me on the outside, it looked like, yeah, Bugzy was like, you know, flying the flag. And so let me ask you a question. If Bugzy didn't come through in the way that he came through, do you think that the UK as a whole would be ready for someone like Aitch? And let me tell you why I say this, because you know, like historically, and historically, like, it sounds arrogant, but I don't mean it in an arrogant way. But historically, like, when you thought of like grime UK, you thought of, or UK music, it was like London, London, London. Then there was, you know, the odd like thing in Birmingham
like
or Sheffield. You know, like you had like Devilman in Birmingham, or like Tez Kid, Coco, Sheffield and stuff. But like, do you feel like that Bugsy's, you know, stepping out? Do you feel like if he hadn't done that, do you feel like H potentially would not have had a path, or do you think H was already on his own path?
I feel like someone needed to do it, of course. Like, someone has to. He really like fought for it. Like, there's no one can take that away from Bugzy. But here's the thing: like, some people still don't like rapping in a different accent other than a London accent. Some people still don't like it. So there's still a lot of work to do. And here's the thing: like, yeah, you know, Bugzy was flying the flag, and now Aitch is flying the flag, but there's so many artists in Manchester that are talented. Some artists that you might even prefer to both of them, but it's just the fact that they haven't blown because we don't get the same kind of attention.
I looked onto your show on Foundation, actually, the live stream that you did, and like there were some of the artists that you were playing. There's a track, and it had Misha B on. Obviously, I know Misha as well, but like there was a track that
that's Sleeps, Abnormal Sleeps, and Misha.
I will swear. Yeah, that track.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like they all produce their own music, they write their own music, everything. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that, you know, it's not got the same light shone on it as London does. But
it's changing though. Like,
it is changing. It is changing. But don't forget, there are still people who will refuse to listen to Aitch. One, because he's from Manchester and they don't like it, and two, because they're like, oh, he's white, he can't rap or whatever. Like, that whole thing is just boring to me. But I actually
like there's some people like call him like a industry plant, don't they, and stuff. Like,
it's bullshit. Like, I've known him since he was like 16. He came on the radio show. Was he 16? 17? I can't remember. But like, Wiley was the first person to co-sign him. Wiley took him on tour with another guy from Manchester called K Rico. Before anyone even knew who Aitch was. But the thing what winds me up is Aitch is talented, right? Can't take that away from him. He writes his own shit. He's not an industry plant. And what annoyed me was I saw a comment the other day on Instagram on one of these pages. It said, "Oh my God, he just reminds me so much of Eminem. He's just like an English Eminem." Right? You're saying that because he's white. Let's stop comparing every white rapper to each other because they sound nothing alike. When Professor Green came out, everyone said the same thing. He sounds like Eminem. neither of them sound like Eminem, and neither of them sound like each other. It's just a really lazy way of identifying him. Like, let's just let him be H.
No, I hear that, man. I saw a video of, like I said, I didn't even know Aitch in his earlier career, but obviously since I've seen older videos of Aitch, you know, like when he was spitting and stuff, and I ain't got no, I can't say he's not talented. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's people that get far in the industry and they're not talented, like but Aitch is actually talented, so you know anything that he gets, like it's not like, you know, I can't look at Aitch and be like, yeah, he's got a ghostwriter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing: there's a multitude of things that counts towards someone's success. You know, the fact that it's a great time in the type of music that he's making is very popular right now. The fact that, yeah, he is white, so a lot of young people growing up that like black music, like when I was young, that I've now seen someone that's like, oh my god, they're like me and they love that music and da-da-da. So, you know, that helps as well. And the fact that he's got a lot of young fans because kids are where the money's at, because the parents want to buy everything for him. Like, there is a multitude of things, but don't ever take away from someone's talent when they are actually really genuinely talented. That just fucking winds me up.
So what do you think of this whole Aitch and Russ, the war of words that they've had?
It's just one of them, like, labels do this shit. Labels put people on features to help them get bigger, like, standard. That's just how it goes, like. But Aitch is now a superstar and he's maintained it. Aitch could have gone on the Keisha Becky remix and then never to be heard again. But the fact is, he can carry a tune by himself, as he's proved. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really even have that many features. His EP's not really got many features, and he's done what he's done. So I think
I hear that.
It's easy to be the bitter guy, but just be consistent then. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Have you checked out his EP? He's got a new EP out, right?
The Polaris one. No, I've not actually. I've listened to 2 songs off it, but I've not actually listened through the whole thing yet, so I can't give a review or a comment. But from what I've heard so far and from the visuals and stuff, I'm really like, I think it's going to be big things.
Yeah. Like, we'll see, man. That time will tell. Like, time will tell.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not. Or of Aitch or.
Well, him, Russ, the whole thing.
What do I think? Like, I think that, like, you can tell when I heard both the diss tracks, like, you can tell that one was, in terms of quality, you know, far superior.
Yeah.
Like, I do think though, like, you know, when I feel like I understand what Russ was trying to get at, but I think he articulated himself in a way that made him come across as a dick. Like, I feel like, you know, like, Russ was popping with Gunlean or whatever, and then obviously there's, you know, Keisha.
Oh, that flyer! Sorry, go on.
That's cool. Obviously Keisha Becky, and, you know, yeah, like that was an opportunity for that kind of, I guess, Aitch bus off the back of that, you could say. And I feel like, I don't know, for me.
But let's not forget he was already getting attention.
He had other stuff out, but that obviously helped. That contributed to what Aitch had already going on. And I feel like for me, I don't know, like, I feel like for me, I guess I'm a bit older than Aitch anyway. So, like, with life experience comes humility, and, like, you learn how to kind of, you know, sometimes not rise to the bait, or you learn how to sometimes not, not necessarily.
Sorry, this
you're just
fly.
dodging flies.
Mate, this fly will not leave me alone.
I feel like even, like, I think it was Lethal B said the same thing. Like, it was like, yeah, man. Like, I think it was when Aitch said, Grime's dead. No one under a certain age, you know, listens to Grime. And I guess stuff like that, even though, you know, there might be some truth into what he's saying in terms of, you know, Grime maybe isn't appealing to the masses of a younger generation in the way that it once was. I think, you know, sometimes you just gotta be humble and, you know, like, you know, pick your words, and, you know, like, if his objective was, you know, to have people talking about him and talking about his track and this, that, and the other, then he succeeded. But like, I feel like
it's just like, go on, sorry.
Yeah, no. I just feel like, you know, sometimes, like, in life, you just gotta just be humble, innit? Hear what people are saying, and then just let the work do the talking. And he's doing that, I guess, to some extent. Like,
I think it's like one of them things, like, I didn't disagree with the statement, like, our generation care about grime because we grew up on it and we remember all that Bugzy chip beef, all the stuff that we were just talking about.
Mm,
Aitch's generation, they're not asked because that's
mm.
not their era. So if that's not his audience, yeah, why does he need to care? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
obviously, yeah, he started out on grime and now he's found his sound and then that's what he's doing. And I just think, do you know what it is? I think some people are so up their own asses that they think that they have to be like worshipped forever for doing something. Like, Wiley's like that. Like, we know that you're great. No one's
Mm.
ever going to take that
But I
away
think
from you. But we don't need
that,
to keep going on and on and
yeah, no,
on.
this is what I'm saying. But what I do think though, I feel like, yeah, like it's true. Like when you look at what's popular, what's popping at the moment, it's not grime music to the
It's
level
not
that it
grime.
used to be. Um,
No.
I just think that, you know, like I think the way it was said was almost like fuck grime. That's the way it came across. Like that.
Yeah, no,
I
I hear
can
that. I hear that. But I
and
think that also can come from a place of frustration. You know, if you keep getting asked the same question over
yeah,
and
this is
over
it.
again.
And I said, you know, with age like comes experience, and that's
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
be
exactly.
patronizing. Like, you know,
No, it
like
does.
mm, mm, mm. It's
It
like
does. I agree.
when yeah 100%, man. Like people live and learn. So like
Yeah,
the guy's still young, man. He's got like
yeah.
he's probably not even hit the peak of his career yet.
No.
So you know what I
And you know
mean?
what? The music industry is a fucked up place. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, man.
Weird
Like
shit
what
goes down.
it's like.
A lot of people are assholes. Like, it's just I don't know, there's just so much to learn. So, like you said, as he
Mm,
gets older and whatever, you know, he might change his sound again. He might be like, this isn't for me, or you just don't know. But I've just
mm.
seen some weird shit. I actually, go on.
What are your thoughts like on artists that spend like so much money on like jewelry and stuff, like ridiculous amounts
Well,
on
funnily enough,
jewelry?
actually, H is like bought all these bust down watches and all that now, which I didn't think he was going to do. But I guess you get sucked in, and when you've got that
Mm,
money, for me, like you said, that I'm old enough now to, if I came into that money, that I wouldn't want those things because I don't really
mm,
give a shit. I've lived my whole life without it. But I guess when
yeah,
you're young and you're being influenced by the older rappers around you, and you know the people that have been in the game for a while, like you're gonna want to do them things. But I actually saw 21 Savage speaking about it the other day. He was saying how it just doesn't matter, and he said I had an identity before I started rapping,
mm,
which wasn't the jewelry and the fancy shit. He's like a lot. He basically said, this isn't my opinion. 21 Savage was saying a lot of people that do that and overdo all the jewelry and the chains. He's like, it's because they don't really have a story. Like they don't
yeah,
really have. They've not really come from the life that I've come from, so they feel the need to like make up for it in other ways. And I don't know, some part of it's like true, and then other parts I'm just like, you know, let people do what they want to do. But he's like, you know, most of it is just rappers competing with other rappers because the
mm,
fans
mm.
don't really give a shit. And it's true,
Yeah, like
it is rappers competing with other rappers.
it's a competition. It's a sport almost, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
like
it's like who's got
it's
the
like
biggest dick, but you're doing it
yeah,
by saying who's got the most jewelry or the biggest ring or whatever.
this is it. Like, you know, we saw that in the Jordan documentary. You know, like you know
Yeah,
that you know his was on the golf course or gambling and stuff like that. People did like when I was in Dubai, like you know I'd be in the Dubai and then one rapper would buy a bottle for another rapper and then the other rapper would buy a bigger bottle for the other rapper, and you know I
yeah.
guess it's part of that culture. And to the generic fan, they're probably not going to understand it.
But
It's
I think
almost
there's like, go on.
it's yeah. I was trying to think of what to compare it to, but all I would say is that like for me, like I have a rule. Like I generally have a rule. Like it's a 1 to 3. So like I'll get something if I can afford it 3 times. You get
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah yeah. So like so
Oh my
what
god,
I'll,
I'd have nothing then.
you what?
I'd never have anything.
No, but I mean, but well, this is it. Like it's like some people do a 1 to 2. Like, but what
Mm,
basically the underlying premise of it is don't you know put yourself into a position of debt or into a position of you know where
mm.
like you can't get out of, you know, like
No,
don't
I
hinder
agree.
yourself
I
because
agree.
you're trying to
I
impress
agree.
other people.
And you
um
see a lot of these like celebrities and that rappers, singers, and
mm,
they'll spend their advance, and it's like straight away because do you know what? I've actually seen people say before that you can't even be taken seriously as a rapper until you've got a proper bust down and a chain. And I think there's kind of like a starter pack, you know, like you see them joke things on like the gossip pages of like, oh, hippie starter pack or whatever. There's
Yeah,
a female rapper starter pack and there's a male rapper starter pack. And for me, I think the male rapper starter pack is the chain, the bust down, you know, the Gucci big puffer coat, whatever. It's going to be different in the US to how it is here. And then the female rapper starter pack is like overly done makeup, lashes, a coloured wig, like big ass, revealing clothes. Like,
although,
and to me, I'm just like, has no one got their own fucking style?
yeah, although Ivorian Doll, I think she copped something, some sort of jewelry. I guess she's popping at the moment, I guess, to some extent. And so I guess
I only know one. I only have heard one song.
yeah, I mean, I only really came across of her on the Rover remix.
Oh, she's on that, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Simba. But yeah, man, jewelry and rappers, it's been a thing that's historic anyway. Like you look at like the 90s and, you know, people going to Jacob the Jeweler and then they put it in their lyrics and stuff. And
now it's what AA Jewelers or whatever.
Yeah. Like I need to get me a premises in Hatton Garden, man, and start selling to these rappers, man.
Shall we just do that?
I think KSI is ready to join us, so I'm gonna try and admit him in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Admit. What's going on? It says I've admitted.
He's allowed to come to the party. Ooh, man 6.
Man 6.
Yeah.
Yo. So I was late, yo.
No worries, bro. No worries, man. Mr. KSI in the building. What you saying, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You've got the full chair and everything.
Yeah. It's just like a little gaming chair, but yeah, no, I'm good, man. All the promos done for the album and everything. So right now I'm just relaxing, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats on that, man. That's a big achievement.
Thank you, yo.
Did you think it was going to go to number 2?
Well, I there was a point where it could actually hit number 1. With the momentum we were going, so I had to like slow down the momentum a bit, promote my competitors, rile up some brands, obviously, because I said if I got to number 1, I'd have to cut off all my hair, and I didn't think I'd actually be able to compete with the 1975, but turns out, my audience is mad, and they just go ham. So
yeah, trust, man. Like, you must be relieved though that you don't need to cut off your hair. That you
this is
keep the
a
dreads.
for me. Like number 2, I'm not mad at number 2. If anything, that's insane. Like for my first solo album to be anywhere near the top 10, let alone top 5, let alone the top 3, let alone the top 2, like it's ridiculous. And then to have my hair as well is also an added bonus.
I mean, you came behind literally like one of the biggest boy bands in the world. Like they're not just a UK band; they're actually like international. So I think you smashed it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, a few of my guys have told me a few of the stats, and I looked at some of the stats, and it's incredible, man. Like, for first week, I like outsold J Huss, which I thought was ridiculous. Wow. Yeah, and there's so many more. I should get out. It's quite well. It was quite interesting. Like when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. I was just, this is surreal. Yeah. So I did more than in the UK. The UK, before you guys said anything, I did more than in album sales. The Weeknd, J Huss, Green Day, Blossoms, Paul Abbott and Jaqua Heaton, Drake, Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, and Niall Horan.
Yeah.
But this is just 2020. This is 2020 UK albums. Yeah. So I saw that. I was like, what? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Do you know where most of your sales come from? What, like, in terms of with the album, have you sold more in the States or more in the UK? Do you know?
No, I'd say more in the UK, but it's quite worldwide. And I had quite a lot in the US. I think around 10K sales in the US. I don't know how many I got like in Australia, New Zealand, and all of this and that. But the majority is from the UK. And it's great. Most of it is just streaming. streaming. Like a lot of my fans don't really buy; they just stream a lot. So
Yeah,
I just had
because that's the world that we're in now, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
to download something or to buy something, it's almost historic. Like, we're in a streaming times, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
I actually thought that most of your sales would be in the US, because what I did notice, I've listened through the album, and there's mostly American features on there, and to me, your sound is quite American. Like, is that the lane that you want to go down?
No. It's I definitely wanted to just try and breach the gap between the UK and US sounds. Right. Like, you know I can easily make UK sounding things anytime I want, essentially. Like, I've been doing UK sounding things all the time, so I wanted to venture more to the US a bit more with my sound, because, you know, I have a larger American audience than I did back in the day. So yeah, I just, you know, experimenting, and, you know, I used to listen to a lot of American music back in the day. So yeah, that's also where I've been influenced by it, and that's why, you know, I'm not afraid to do American style music.
Yeah, no, I can definitely hear that.
What would you say that there are any artists that you would have loved to have got on the album who, for this one, it didn't quite work out, or that you know, in hindsight, you would have loved to have got on the album? Or
yeah, I mean, we didn't ask him, but, you know, it would have been cool to have A$AP Ferg on the album. I think the energy he brings is phenomenal, and it would have been really cool. You know, there's people I would love to have, like Tyler the Creator, but I that's one of those ones where it just has to happen, or you have to wait for him to hit you up, for it to work. And you know, everyone's gonna say Drake, but, like, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, even me and Stormzy, if we did something, that could be pretty huge. But I think for this album, it was kind of just to show that I'm doing the music thing, I'm taking it seriously, and that this isn't a joke. And then from then on, I should be able to really, you know, make huge moves. This is just creating the foundation. And, you know, essentially, this is like me breaking into the music industry, like, properly. Like, obviously, I've been doing music for ages, you know, releasing songs for ages, but this is the first time where it's like, all right, I'm making a statement now. I'm actually here to stay. So
yeah. Well, Apple Music gave us a nice rundown of each song. So I had a little read through, and something that I picked up on what you said is that you feel like some of the songs are you, and some of the songs are KSI.
Yes.
And what I was interested to find out is what are the differences between you and KSI?
Well, you know, JJ is just my private life, and KSI is just my public life. That's just it. So, you know, I'd say right now I'm just being me, because it's just, you know, a normal interview. But, like, whenever I'm on camera or doing certain things that requires me to be a certain character, then I'm KSI. But it's kind of like JJ, just a lot more. It's like JJ times 10, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You find it easier to like separate the career from the personal thing?
Yeah. I feel like you have to. You can't really, you know, have everything in the public eye, else you just get led by the public. So everything you do, you think, oh, okay, I need to look good in front of the public. So let's say you have a girlfriend, and, you know, you're like, oh, you know, how are the public going to see her, you know, in front of everyone and all this and that. And then you just don't do life properly. I feel you don't actually live life. You just live it through the people. And I don't think that makes sense.
I hear that. So like, how does, like the KSI, how does KSI switch off? And, like, when the cameras aren't there, what do you do to kind of, like, for yourself to kind of relax and take things off of KSI and all of that?
Yeah, if I want to switch off, I just switch off. Yeah, it's quite easy. Like, I just chill, and, you know, I play games. I exercise. I just, you know, enjoy my time. I just relax. Yeah, and, you know, I do a lot of relaxing, as well as, you know, working hard as well, because, you know, if you don't relax, you burn out, man, and then you just you hate your life. So yeah, you have to try and find the right balance, and I think, especially after 2017, I've finally found the right balance, and I'm in a good spot now. So
Yeah. Well,
And
I was
now
going to
that
ask you. Sorry, go on, Giovanni.
no,
I
go
love
for it, go for it.
interrupting Giovanni. By the way, it's my favourite thing to do.
Yeah, same with me, man. We just chop and change. Go for it, man.
Now I was just going to ask you. Obviously, as people, I mean, I even do it myself. Like when someone wants to change career paths, for example, you know, the people that have come out of Love Island and now they want to do music and whatever, like people judge them straight away before they've even heard it. And I feel like maybe that's something that you've experienced. And like, what is your opinion on that? Because I've done it myself, but now that I've kind of heard what people have said about it and been proven wrong, like I do change my mind. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, people, you know, always gonna judge me. Like, you know, they see me as a YouTuber, a gaming YouTuber. You know, I started off with FIFA, and a lot of people are just stuck with that mindset. So me trying to do other things like the boxing or the music, they can't. It just doesn't work with them. It doesn't make sense. So they just, I guess, they get annoyed, and they get frustrated, and you know, they send hate, and they go, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're meant to just be a YouTuber. You're meant to stay in your lane." But I'm a guy that goes, "Nah, fuck that, man. I'm not a guy that just stays in the box. I do whatever the fuck I want to do. It's my life. You know, I'm not gonna live it just to make other people happy. I'm gonna live it to make myself happy." So I enjoy music. I enjoy boxing. I enjoy these other things. So I just go, all right, let me do it. And now I'm in a position where I'm able to do everything I want, and people just have to, you know, respect it.
Are you going to go strictly on the music path now? Is this you, or is there other lanes that you want to explore?
No, I mean, I feel like the whole music and boxing and YouTube is like my lane, and you know, it makes sense for me. I feel like doing all those three, and you know, like obviously, you know, you just gotta give it time and balance, and just be strategic with how you schedule all of them. But you know, I've been able to manage it all. You know, even with the training, I still train every day, almost every day. With YouTube, I still post almost every day on YouTube. And, you know, with music, you know, I'm always working on music. Like, you know, I'm just literally in the studio, just working, just doing everything, just balancing it all out. So.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Like now, obviously, the album is recorded, it's out of the way to some degree. What's next for KSI, man?
I think for now, I kind of just wait for this whole coronavirus thing to die down. You know, I definitely want to do a music video for a few of the songs on the album, and then work on another EP. You know, maintain my training. I want to be able to, you know, go back into boxing training and, you know, start sparring again and stuff like that. And then with the YouTube, I'll just do the same as I've been always doing the YouTube, just constantly posting, you know, constantly and making entertaining content and entertaining my fans.
Love that. What would you say has been like the most challenging thing for you, like during the process of making the album, and I guess during lockdown overall, like what's been like the most challenging thing for you?
You know, the whole music side has never been challenging because it's for me, it's just easy. Like I don't see it as a challenge. I don't see it as me trying to do something that I can't. It's just something that it just flows naturally. It's just so easy. So it's never hard, and I enjoy it. I love it. Like just creating new sounds or just creating new flows and just having fun with it. I think the hardest has been the press, if I'm being honest. The press, I've done so much press. I've done so
Repeating
much press.
yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just
so draining.
I'm just sick of it. But it has to be done. It has to be done. It's important to get, you know, you out there and your name out there. And you know, I've definitely done a lot of cool things with the press. But yeah, I'd say that is probably the longest part of this whole thing. Just constantly saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that you don't find it like challenging or draining in terms of making the music, because I think sometimes when you start doing something as a job or a career, like you end up losing your passion for it because it's like you have to do it instead of wanting to do it. So I think it's good, man. You've had three singles in the top 40 this week. It's the #2 album. Like it just seems to be going from strength to strength. So I'll look
And you also
forward
have
to
to,
hearing
you
your
have to
sound
recognize
develop
that
more.
100%. You have to recognize that, you know, it's an as far as independent albums goes, it's the number one album. You know, like
Yeah, that's true.
number one
I
in
didn't realise so
Ireland.
you're not with a label.
So I'm with BMG, but it's like a distribution deal.
Oh my God! Right, okay. So in
So
terms of all the features and stuff, like, have you made all those connections yourself? Because obviously, a lot of the time,
Yeah.
the
So we
labels are
had
the
to
people.
sort all of that out. Yeah, me and
Wow.
Mams had to sort everything. Yeah, we didn't.
Ah,
Yeah, BMG don't
that's
have
interesting.
contacts like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish it would have made my life a lot easier if they did, but no.
Next
they
time
don't,
you're there, just steal the phone book.
No, I mean they don't have a phone book.
Yellow pages.
Yo, they're just the bank.
Yeah.
They've been very helpful throughout, and without them I wouldn't be able to create the album. So shout out to BMG. But
that's good, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like it's been obviously a vibe kicking it with you. I haven't seen you in a good few months now, man.
It's been a while. Yeah, I think we might have a festival still in Jersey. I don't know. I don't think they've closed it yet or cancelled it. So that could be maybe the only festival we do this year. No, we were gonna have so many like shows booked and lined up. But
will you tour the album when you can?
I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to. Not this year, anyway.
No, maybe next.
I think next I'll definitely have more music. So I think it'd just be a different. It wouldn't be the Dissimulation tour. It'd be something else for sure.
Something else.
Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Well, one thing I did want to just go on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's just how music is. Like it's a lot faster than it was back in the day. So you can't really just release an album and just go, all right, I'm gonna leave for like a few years. I mean, certain artists can do that, but like someone like me, especially someone quite new to the game, I have to show face quite a lot and prove myself quite a lot before I can get to that point where I can just leave for a couple of years and come back.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say one thing I wanted to touch on was obviously you do spend a lot of time between America and the UK. I don't know when the last time you were there is or whatever, but obviously there's been a lot of just heart-wrenching, just awful shit going on this week. And I just wanted to just maybe touch on it with you and just see, what your experiences have been like in the States, and are you planning to get back there anytime soon? Like, what are your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, I mean, my experience has been quite positive. Like, I haven't really been in any situation where I've been treated unfairly or anything like that. But I know many people who live there definitely have been treated poorly, and they're just showing their frustration. About the whole system. And it's one of those things where a person was murdered. Chauvin murdered Floyd and George Floyd, and he needs to get punished. That's as simple as that. It's just simple as that. And I feel like people are frustrated because they just feel like their voice are not heard. I know a lot of Black people out there just feel like their voice isn't being heard, and they feel like it's important for them to riot and show their frustration. So people see that it's real. People don't just see as this fake thing that's just in the air. No, it's a real thing, and people are actually dying, and people are actually getting treated unfairly, and people just have had enough. They just want justice. So the scenes, it's the whole scene, the whole America is just frustration. It's just simple as that. So
and just hoping that that things start to change. Like we say this all the time, and then people, I guess, forget about it or it dies down. And I'm just hoping that this time around it just stays in in people's faces, and that justice is served, and the narrative can change. And because we got people like yourself, or there's a lot of successful Black people, and I guess sometimes the narrative can try and highlight on the negatives when there's a lot of positives that are happening as well. And I think it's important too.
It's definitely important.
Well, we want to just thank you for coming on anyway.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of meet you. And yeah, I'll be sure to share the album with people, and obviously look forward to whatever's coming next.
Yeah, man. Big up, man, and congrats again on the achievement with the album. And
thank you.
Yeah, man. We'll speak soon.
We'll link up soon for sure. See you guys in a bit.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, there you go.
Man, like KSI.
So now I interrupt KSI as well as you. It's a thing.
It's just a thing. Like, I bet you interrupt ads as well, innit? Like, and everyone. That's why, the other week you were like...
It's just because I'm so excited. I'm like...
You know what? The other day on the podcast episode, I think it was like episode 4, you were like, your mum doesn't want you to come round. Now I know why.
You bitch.
Always
Don't talk about
her.
my mama like that. Oh, mate. Well, that was good. And whose turn is it this week? You or me to do the song?
It's me, and you know what? Like,
it's you, thank God, because I've not thought of one.
Yeah, and we didn't even plan this, but I'm kind of happy that it is me because obviously the song that I'm gonna introduce to the listeners, and to be honest with you, if you're a listener and you haven't yet heard the song, then where have you been? But is actually a song produced by myself. And I'm part of a DJ producer collective called 633, and we released a single yesterday. So we're recording on Saturday, the 30th. We released the single on the 29th. The track is called Run Around. It features Dan Onkar and Giles. I
really like it.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
No, but you know me, like, if I didn't, I'd just be like, oh, yeah, like, I can't lie. I can't lie about things, especially music. I just find it offensive. But now it's a tune. Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like we'll get that song on. It's 633 featuring Giles and Dan Onkar, Run Around. And if you like what you hear, just Shazam it, tag me, or follow us on Spotify and all of that. Get me. Let us know if you're feeling it. And we will be back when we're back for episode 7 of the No Numbers podcast.
Dun, 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 dun.
Doom, doom, doom.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm just going to save this audio. Hang on.